So remember when smartwatches are supposed to be the next big thing? Yes? No? Maybe? Whatever the case, Google is looking to breathe new life into their ecosystem with Android Wear 2.0, and along with that, we have the LG Watch Sport and the LG Watch Style. So we're going to get into it and let you know if these are a great upgrade to what Android and Google has already been doing on the wearable space. So let's start things off with the big boy, and that is the LG Watch Sport. On top of all that, the additional sensors bring forth a heart rate sensor. So the PPG sensor is a new technology that is light-based, and it measures the flow of blood for a more accurate reading. This actually does a really good job way better than your average wearable. It does the atypical running, walking, but also does a good job in tracking weightlessness. So if you pump a little iron, it can do a good job at that as well. As far as daily usage, it's comfortable, but it's pretty big. And when I see it, I think of a Nixon watch, because a lot of those are kind of big. So the upside of it was being pretty big. You have a massive display, a bigger display, which you can see more information when it comes to typing and all that, but we'll get into that in the Android Wear part of things. It has the two buttons on the sides that can be customizable, and then the dial in the center, which you can scroll and use to navigate through navigations, or scroll through menus. Also just press it to go back to your home screen. But the downside is it's a bit big and chunky, and it may not be comfortable for most people. Some people don't like having big things on their wrist. They prefer something a little smaller, a little concealable. The battery life is fine. It lasts, it's not gonna last you several days. It's gonna be something you're probably gonna have to charge every day, every other day, depending on your usage as far as like fitness tracking, if you get tons of notifications or not, or if you're doing tons of things with it. So I was able to get maybe about 14 to 24 hours on a single charge. So along with all the goodies and sensors, you have LTE, of course, which you have to pay for, GPS and NFC. And with NFC, that gives you access to use this guy for Android Pay, and that works pretty damn well. I was kind of surprised as well it worked. Not a big Android Pay person. Now moving on to the style. It's definitely a lot smaller, a lot more attractable. I think this will be a bit more of a draw for most people, except for one thing, but we'll get to that in a second. So of course this is smaller in a stainless steel case, and this is also dust and water resistance. But the good thing about this one is that you have a removable leather strap. So if you look at it and be like, oh, this is nice, but I'm not too crazy about the color, this is using Google's mode bands where you can just snap on and off. So you have that option. There's a noticeable difference in regards to size and appearance and even weight on your wrist compared to the Sport. It's a lot lighter, a little more adaptable to wear for, this can kind of go with whatever you're rocking with. You don't have the two customizable buttons that you have on the Sport, but you can still do everything you could do. Everything you can do with regards to navigation. In regards to the battery life, I was actually getting maybe a few hours longer than the Sport because it has less radios and different stuff going on. So I was able to get maybe 16 to 26 hours on a single charge. But again, it's a small battery, but all that depends on your usage and how much stuff you get. You don't have GPS, you don't have LTE, and you don't have NFC. So I think, back to that one caveat, this not having NFC, I think was a terrible move, because I think NFC is what gives the Android Wear 2.0 devices access to Android Pay. And I think if you would have added that one little chip on here, I think that would have been perfect for this. So wrapping up, I think that both watches and along with Android Wear 2.0, I think they are a much better vision to what Android would look like on wearables compared to Android Wear Part 1. But then when you saw Apple's watchOS, and it's like, damn, I can't, shit don't flow like this. So now this definitely gives it a much better streamlined flow and everything with the watch dials and the bezels and all that good stuff. So of course, between the two, I'm actually a big fan of them both. I think you can't miss either way, but I think this will probably the one that everybody will go for. But with not having Android Pay, and for those of you who really want to be tech forward and have that option, then you want to go for this. But of course, you're gonna have to pay for it. $349 plus contracts and all that other stuff versus $249, no Android Pay. So I think they did a really good job with these two guys. Shout out to LG, because man, they came a long way from the original G watch, which was I think the first one that they came out with, and it was the first one that I had. It was a square block, and it was just, you know, it was just bland, but you know, everybody got to start somewhere. Even the Watch Urbane 2 was really nice, even though the bands were a little stiff and people didn't really care for that. But you got options. So leave some comments below. Let us know if there's anything else that we may have missed that you want to see in regards to Android Wear 2.0. Don't forget to check out our separate video all on Android Wear 2.0 and our take on that. And yeah, thumbs up, like, comment, share. Thanks for watching.